Hey everybody, welcome back to another update video. As you can see, we have all the mini Sirens here, and I'm going to be doing a quick little update on all of them. I'm just going to be talking about how they are, if they're done, if those kind of things. And then after I'm done talking about them, I'll do a quick little test about a little bit of a short alert from them. So, anyways, starting with the mini Cyclone, as you can see here, it's pretty much in its final form. There might be a couple of modifications I'll add to it, like decals maybe down on the intake here, or maybe some mesh screen to go around the stator, but then again, that kind of sounds like just extra detail that no one cares about. But I don't know. I might or might not do that, I don't know. I'm probably going to do the decals though, because I feel like that would look pretty cool, just down there having some decals. But anyway, that's the mini Cyclone. Not much else to really say, because it's pretty much, there's nothing else really to do with it anymore. So, anyways, let's just give it a quick little test here. There we go. Okay, here we go. So yeah, that's basically the mini Cyclone. Runs pretty nice, pretty loud too. I'd wear some hearing protection for that one. But yeah, that's the mini Cyclone as of right now. Like I said, nothing else to really say about it. Moving on to the older core. Just gonna plug this in for when I'm done talking about it. But it's pretty much in its final form and all that. There's not much else to really do with it other than just use it as its intended use. Everything's pretty much done with it, as you can see. I don't plan to take it apart again, unless I need to for some sort of like motor work or any type of something that's jammed in there. But then again, that would probably be like me messing around with it and screwing something up. So I do also have to say, with the other old motor from the newer core, I took one of the old bearings from the motor shaft, whatever you want to say. I took one of those bearings off of my puller and actually put it inside this thing, so this thing has a metal sealed ball bearing in there, so it makes the wind down a bit longer, and it peaks at actually a bit of a higher RPM than it usually would with the rubber seal bearings like these motors do have. Because this variant right here does have ball bearings. It doesn't have the rounded corners in there for the cooling ports, but that's really everything to say about this right there. So here, I'll do a quick little test of this one as well. So yeah, there's the older core. Runs pretty good. Has a pretty decent peak RPM as well, considering that this was, that bearing and all that higher pitch. Even though it's supposed to imitate single phase, it does peak a pretty decent RPM, but honestly, it's fine as is. So that's that one right there. Moving on to this. So some people that I talk to, like on Discord or whatever, know about this, but some people that aren't, this is news. So with the little 12-volt siren thing, as you can see, the siren is pretty much in a state of being able to run, and that's because it is. As you can see, I'm spinning it. And I'll just give you a full-on quick rundown of the story to get this thing running. So basically, it started with when I got the new motor for this thing, which was not cheap, by the way. That was like $50 for that one motor. So yeah, I was not about to like get another one because that was $50 for that one motor. That's like wow. Anyways, I noticed that the shaft for the motor was too big for the rotor, so I contacted one of my dad's friends that works at the CTC center here, and he offered to drill press the rotor to a bigger shaft size so that it would fit in there. And yep, he did. He took it to a precisionist to get it professionally drilled. And it wasn't a professional, like, high-techy job. It was enough to get it running. And of course, there is a little bit of slop in the rotor. Like, it does kind of wave a little bit, but honestly, if it runs, I'm happy. So, yeah, that's the little 12-volt siren thing. It does run. That little motor right there was $50. Don't mind it being wrapped in electrical tape. That's because if I'm touching my Variac and one of the metal exposed pieces on this thing, it'll shock me or like have a little tingling feeling in my fingers, and I don't like that. So that's why it's covered in electrical tape. And of course, because that motor is 12 volts, me running it on 120 would fry it instantly. So that's why I'm going to connect it up to my Variac here and have it set to, close to 12 volts, something around there. So just do a quick little alert blast of it. So here we go. And there's a little 12-volt siren thing. If you heard a little like of a sliding type of rubbing noise while I was running, that's because this is a brushed motor. If you're not caught up on how DC or universal motors work, just look it up. They use brushes. It's pretty well known that brush motors make that noise when they wind down. But yeah, there's a little 12-volt siren thing. Pretty much done as well. I have a pretty crappy paint job on it, so when all that wears off, I'll cover it in a coat of primer and then probably give it a more professional paint of black. So, because it looks fine right now. So, yeah, that's the little siren. So that's that for that one. Moving on to this one. Now, this has been an absolute pain in my ass just to get this thing working, but I'm pretty sure I got it. What I mean by that is it's been an absolute battle, I tell you, just to get this thing to run, because I've gone through 2 motors with this thing. The original and the Maytag that you see right over there. And, dear God, when I got the Maytag and realized it was the wrong motor for this thing, I was beyond upset. But I was talking with one of my friends, Demetrius P, on YouTube, because he's actually smart. There was a tag on this thing that showed pretty much the exact motor that the original motor that this thing used. And he went on eBay and, did some high-techy research, whatever the hell, and basically found what he's calling basically a 1-to-1, or the exact motor that this thing originally used. And I believe him, because I don't know if anybody remembers. You could probably, after this video or right now, you can go to my older videos from before February of this year. When this thing had the original motor, it probably looked something similar to this. If that tells you anything, it would probably look similar to that. Which Demetrius was saying that it doesn't look perfect, but it is pretty close to the original motor. But what'll really decide it is when Edon gets that 10-port rotor here, and I put it on here, and if it reaches pretty much the same pitch that this thing originally did back in pretty much, well, I guess I can say last year. If it reaches the pitch it did last year, then this thing is officially done. I'm not taking it apart again. I'm saying that right now. That goes for all these ones too. Pretty much every siren. When I'm done with it, I'm not taking it apart again under any circumstance. Well, of course, sometimes I'll lose track of my promise, and then I'll eventually, end up somehow forgetting that I said that, and then I'll eventually take it apart. But this time, I'm pretty sure that I got it this time. So, it's of course not done right now, so it will be taken apart multiple times before I actually get it. But this is it right now. The 12 port is essentially just, on it, because I was able to fix one of the 3D printer parts right here to get the stator mounted. It was kind of warped in a way, so I used the hairdryer, pushed it back, and now it's balanced pretty much perfectly. So that's pretty much it. Don't mind my janky wiring job right there of wire nuts with the capacitor and the cord. It's a temporary thing. I'm still in the process of, trying to get the thing to work. I don't even have the junction box on it right now. Hell, any of those parts. But, yeah, I'll give it a test in a second. Also, I might also want to say that if you notice, the paint on this thing look a little bit different. There's a story on that. I actually decided to take the time to repaint every part on this thing with a new coat of blue. Now, I will say, it is not the original color of this thing. Like, it's not the perfect, like, one-to-one thing. It is a slightly different, I believe it's a darker blue. I believe it said it was like a ocean blue or something like that. I don't know, something close to that. I'd have to look at the spray can, but it's very close to the original paint. It also is, unfortunately, a gloss, which it'll just make it shinier, is what it'll do. But I don't really care, because it'll make it look like a factory fresh one anyway, so I don't care. But I just wanted to repaint it because since I'm already taking the whole thing apart to, basically fix it and all that crap, I thought I might as well just give it a full pretty much just a one-to-one refurbishment. So, that's just that. And I will go grab one of the original motor end bills to compare the paint. So just give me 1 second here. Get it from my closet. Okay, here we go. So here's one of them with the original paint, as you can see here. It's probably hard to see in the light because it's pretty bad in here, but there's your original paint. And let me just bring this over here. Just set it right here. Just set it right here. Like, you can tell, it's probably hard to see in here because it's so dimly lit, but it's pretty close. Probably hard to tell in the recording, but for me, it's slightly lighter. Well, it's more, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a different shade. It's slightly more blue is how I can describe it, with, of course, it being more shiny. That's really it for that. And of course, the wire tube is still here too. I repainted that too. Pretty much everything here was repainted, is what I can say. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that Maytag over there. I might keep it for another Siren project that I might do in the future. I don't know. It's undecided really for all this crap. But anyways, I'll just do a quick little test of this thing. And yeah, I will also be repainting the rotors for this thing too, like a more metallic type of gray, like an aluminum type gray, if you will. So it'll look closer to aluminum. But I will, of course, be taking this out. When I do that, I'm not going to spray paint it while it's in there. No, I'm not doing that. But that's just something, a future project that I have. But anyways, just do a quick little alert blast of this thing. And it might twitch, so I'm going to try and stack something under the motor so it doesn't, twitch too much. So when I get this tube under there, sorry for this. There we go. Okay, let's have it like that. I'll just hold it with my hand, set it off with my foot, so here we go. So there's the newer core, well, the 12 port at least. Yeah, it actually does reach a pretty decent pitch, especially for being the 12 port, having the 12 port weighted. Because that is something that's going to be different, is the fact that the 12 port's going to be weighted. Because the 10 port, or no, the 12 port, when it was originally in its form, was not weighted, but now it is, so it's going to be like who waited, so we'll just have to see how it turns out. The wind down was pretty decent on it too, and that's because this was an open box listing on eBay, so what open box really means is that someone opened the box, realized that it wasn't what they wanted, and repackaged it. Which kind of explained when I opened this thing, it looked like the package was pretty beat up. So, but anyways, that's really it for all of my mini sirens. Well, quote unquote mini sirens. That's more, I consider more like a small siren. But anyways, that's really it for this mini siren update video. Like I said, I'll be done with this one hopefully soon when I get the 10-pole rotor. Then I'll probably reassemble it. Probably just reassemble a core and then paint the motor while it's assembled. But of course I gotta get done with all this wiring crap. Rewiring this thing when I put the Maytag on there was an absolute pain in my ass. So this is just gonna be the nightmare all over again. So wish me luck that I get this done. So, but I'll manage to get it done. But it's just gonna be a pain in my ass. But yeah, that's pretty much all my sirens, as it said date in the title. So yeah, that's basically it for the update video. So yeah, peace out.